Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. And the name of today's podcast is It's So Stressful to Feel Like We Don't Matter. And I've been thinking about this lately after I rewatched a documentary called Searching for Sugarman. It actually won an Oscar for Best Documentary many years ago. And the documentary is based on a man named Sixto Rodriguez. And in the early 70s, he was a Detroit folk singer who had a short-lived recording career with only 2 well-received but non-selling albums. Unknown to Rodriguez, his musical story continued in South Africa, where he became a pop music icon and an inspiration for generations. At the time, the country was dealing with apartheid, and they were very shut off from the rest of the world. And the lyrics that he wrote in his songs inspired many people to speak up and start using songs to challenge the government. And it became a big part of the movement against apartheid. In South Africa, there were rumors that Rodriguez was dead, but a few fans in the 1990s decided to seek out the truth of their hero's fate. What's amazing is that they found Rodriguez living in Detroit, and Rodriguez, not knowing the impact of his music, did construction in Detroit, often lived hand to mouth, and almost 30 years later did he realize that his music really did have the impact that he always dreamed of. And he was invited to South Africa, and he gave over 30 concerts there, and he did start to play his music in the United States. And although Rodriguez's situation is quite extreme to be as popular as the Beatles in South Africa and not to know, it did make me think about my life and a life that most of us live. I can't tell you how often people come to my office to discuss the lack of meaning in their lives or the feeling that they failed, that they haven't had impact on this world. But the truth is, we always don't get to know the impact that we've had. We don't realize that every day we're affecting this world. Every day we're moving things forward for somebody or something. I also found this quote, and I don't know who said it, but it really simplifies how we're always looking so big and we're forgetting the impact we're having every day. You may think that you are completely insignificant in this world, but someone drinks coffee from the favorite cup that you gave them. Someone heard a song on the radio that reminded them of you. Someone read the book that you recommended and plunged headfirst into it. Someone smiled after a hard day's work because they remembered the joke that you told them today. Someone loves themselves a little bit more because you gave them a compliment. Never think you have no influence whatsoever. Your trace, which you leave behind with every good deed, cannot be erased. And as you touch somebody, it touches somebody else. There's no action that is small in this lifetime. We just need to know that as we plant these seeds every day with every action, no matter how small, it grows. And you might not see it blossom, and you might not see the benefits that you've given someone, but your life matters, and you've had a positive effect on other people's lives. And you've achieved much more than you even realize. But when we feel small, we give up. When we feel things are meaningless, when we feel we don't have impact, we feel less than. And it can almost take your breath away to not think that what you've done in your life has had any purpose. So you have to pull back from the noise and pull back from what the world is telling you and go back to your own life, and you have to have faith that each action will lead to something. We only stop trying because we believe it doesn't matter. We only stop trying because we believe we don't have what it takes, because we haven't seen results. But sometimes we are so busy focusing in on that one thing that we forget to pull back and look at an entire life worth living. But we just have to be willing to get off the roller coaster ride of how we think life is supposed to be, this grandiose view of all these things that are supposed to happen, and bring ourselves back to this moment where we are having impact every day. When we know we matter, we have more courage to speak up. When we know we matter, we go for that job. When we know we matter, we're not afraid to be intimate with another human being. And we have to ignore all the noise that makes us feel like we don't. And we have to ignore those stories that we tell because we haven't achieved what we thought we were supposed to. We haven't made anything of our lives. And again, this is one of the things I hear the most when people come to speak to me. Our greatness is often so different than what we think. And sometimes I think we spread our greatness by pursuing our dreams, not always achieving them. Some of the greatest entrepreneurs I know, it didn't work out, but they were great leaders. And they influenced many people and helped many people support themselves and taught them how to do business and how to move on to something else. Your words matter, your actions matter, your life has mattered. And why this is so important is because when you realize this, you sit up a little taller. And when you realize this, you become less afraid to pursue your dreams. And when you realize this, your heart opens and you want to be even more connected. Because that's really the best feeling in life, to open your heart and to connect. You can connect to nature, you connect to another human being, you can connect to your work. And we can't always worry where it's going. It's like sitting around watching the seed under the soil grow. We just have to plant it, we have to water it, and we have to move on. And we have to have faith that maybe what we did will help somebody else along the way. It's not how many people you've reached. It's not how many lives you have touched. It's the quality of how you show up every day. We might never achieve all our goals, but perhaps the biggest one is to love ourselves and value ourselves and know that our time here has mattered. Somebody is selling us this grandiose story and it's just making all of us miserable. Bigger is better. More followers are better. More money is better. And I'm not saying that you can't want all these things. And it's beautiful to achieve your goals and to be able to afford your life and to have as many followers as you want on Instagram. But the most beautiful feeling in the world is to know that you're connected to this lifetime. Your heart is connected to others and to the things that you love and the things you pursue. And that every time you breathe, it matters. And every time you act, it matters. From planting a flower, to being nice to your colleague, to being a good parent, to raising money and starting the biggest business in the United States or anywhere around the world. It all matters. We just need to pull away from what other people are telling us that matters and really get grounded within ourselves, because we all know the truth. We all know what makes us feel connected, and we must value that in order to live a valuable life. And I bring this up today because I want you to know you matter. And I want you to know that everything you've done in your life has mattered, has lifted up other people, has been connected to other people's lives, that's been connected to the betterment of this world. Is everything we do like that? No, but so much is. And I don't want you to lose faith because the world is telling us there's no hope. I don't want you to lose faith because other people around you seem to be achieving more or getting more out of life. It's not a contest. I want you to be able to let all that go. And when you know you matter, you'll go out there and you'll make more of a difference. I want you to have the courage to stand up for what you believe in. I want you to have the courage to pursue your dreams. I want you to have the courage to make a difference in this world, to fight for things that you care about and not let the negativity get you down. And I don't want anyone to say they matter more than you. It's not true. We might not always be able to solve our problems, and we might not be able to make life exactly as we want it to be. But as that's all happening, we are all connecting with each other. We are all making a difference. We're moving life forward in some way. So don't let the disappointments and the expectations make you feel like a failure, make you feel like it wasn't worth it. Because I can guarantee that so much has happened. You have been impacting people's lives, even when things don't work out. We must remember that. But sometimes if we're only thinking about where it's going, we're missing the journey, we're missing the connection. It's unclear if many of us will be as lucky as Rodriguez was, even if it was 30 years later, to see the impact he had had. And it might seem unfair that we don't always get to know, but this is the song of life. And yes, it takes faith, and yes, it takes determination, but it's what gives our lives meaning. And when you know you matter, and you know your actions are connected to others, you will get up every day and never lose sight that the world can be a better place because you're in it. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you could email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my books, The Gift of Maybe or A Year Without Men, they're available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you can subscribe and leave a comment.